an Italian lady. She was a ballroom teacher. Like the month of June, her name was June Liberta. Okay? Here's a lady that used to go to the famous Palladium Ballroom that I'm sure all of you heard about, the Palladium era. So there was a ballroom called Palladium. She used to go there before I even started dancing, because she was about maybe 25 years older than me. And I met her in the early 70s at a nightclub called the Corso, which was a club which opened up way after the Palladium closed. And I met her there, and the moment I saw this lady dancing, I was just fascinated with her style. She used to do all this jazzy movements, and she had like a real fusion going on. And I said, who is this lady? So I got to know her, and I started dancing with her. Once I started dancing with her, I got so thrilled by just dancing with her. I would meet her there almost every Friday and every Sunday and dance the night away. And then it got to the point where I used to dance with all the girls, and then I loved dancing with her so much that I used to dance with her 80% of the night. And then the girls that knew me would say, yo, Eddie, what's up with you dancing with Grandma all night? Yeah, 'cause I was about 21, she was about 41 maybe. I said, what's up with that? I said, Grandma's got more soul in her pinky than you have in your whole body. That's what it is. But she really did. She had all that. So as I got to know her, she said, Eddie, would you like to come and teach your style, your movements at my studio? I said, yeah. I said, but I teach, I don't know how to, really explain. She said, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you timing. I'm going to teach you words. I'm going to teach you how to put a syllabus together. I said, syllabus? I said, that sounds like a disease. I said, what's a syllabus? She goes, that's a list of steps that you put to your whatever you're doing on the floor. You make a name for it. I said, now how am I going to name a step when all my life is left? And she said, well, you know the step that you always do, that you go front. She says, in the ballroom world, we call that Susie Q. She says, so there I gave you the first name of this shine that you're going to make a list out of. And I said, so what do I do now? She goes, well, as you're doing the step, look at the design of what you're doing and imagine a name for it. So, okay. So I go home and I start doing this. Oh, shoot. I'm crossing front 2 times. Oh, a front double cross. I made that name up. I was like, June, I made up a name. She goes, what is it? I said, look, front double cross. She goes, nah, you got it. So little by little, I started doing that. Then she sat me down. At first she says, now you're going to learn about dancing on timing with the music. I said, what do you mean? She's going to count beats. I says, count beats? Yeah, like when you step, you have to count beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I said, June, I can't be counting no numbers while I'm dancing. That's like painting by numbers. You ever seen those paintings that you paint by number 6 is blue, number 5 is red? I said, I can't do that. That's crazy. I said, no, you feel it. You come from the street. I said, I've been in the jungle all my life. Now you want to take me out of the jungle and have me count beats? It took her a while. She said, 1, 2, 3. I said, hell no. So you know what she did? I won't keep it too much long. She would invite me to these ballroom socials at the time, where a lot of ballroom dancers would dance ballroom, and in the mix of the night they would play mambos and cha-chas. So while I'm dancing with her, during the same night I'm dancing with her, we got guys coming up to me and ladies coming up to me asking me all these theoretical questions. Eddie, do you dance on 2? I said, on my 2 feet? On the clave, are you breaking forward on the last 2 beats of the clave? And I look at them, I say, what the hell are you talking about? And do you use any syncopation? Syncopations, what is that? Everywhere I went with her for like months, people will come to me. And I said, June, you know what? These people are making me really, I'm getting pissed off now. Every time they attack me, I think what it is they just want to irk me. Because they know all I do is street dancing, and they want to come with all this logic and philosophy. And I says, and I'm really getting upset with this. So you know what? I'm going to sit down, I'm going to let you teach me this. So this time when they come to me and they ask me, do you dance on 2? I said, yes, I dance on 2. And how many beats? There's 8 beats. And the men's timing is this. And yes, I know what a Susie Q is. And I would have all the answers. after I really got hooked on the whole idea of logic and timing and the whole education of the dance, she said, Eddie, now sit down. This is like a year or so later. She said, I have something to share with you. I said, what? She said, remember all those pesky people that used to come up there and they would just nag you and ask you all these questions? She said, I set that shit up. I said, what? She goes, I would go to Rapunzel and say, Rapunzel, go ask Eddie, does he know anything about the 3-2 club? She goes, Billy, go ask Eddie if he dances on 2. And I looked at her and said, you sneaky genius. Because I said, if it wasn't for that, I would have never, ever probably wanted to open up my mind to say, I want to learn timing and I want to learn the whole academic side of the dance. Because she was teaching me what they used in the ballroom world. The whole idea of how they lay out the timing. So today when I hear these words and I hear them quoting all these phrases like CBL, cross-body lead, breaking on 2, Susie Q, and I hear all this, who do you think I think of? And you know what she told me? Because I shared with her in the 70s that my dream was to one day dance with Tito Puente, to do shows with him. And she said, Eddie, if you want to dance with Tito, you're going to need this education. So you're going to need to learn, because Tito's an educated musician. So he's going to want to know that you know music. And if he asks you any questions, you're going to sit there and go, this is really going to help you. Not only as a professional dancer, as a teacher. So that's how it started. And sure enough, today when I hear all the teachers around the world teaching with this method, I look and I say, she's no longer around, but I said, man, I only wish she'd be here now to see this, because she was so right. She says, you're going to help revolutionize the whole salsa scene in years to come with this, because you're going to see how much easier, how better this is to get knowledge across to people. Because years ago, if I wanted to teach you something, I'd say, you got it? You got it? And you're like, it would take you a month to learn a shot. Yeah. So now I can teach a student in 1 year what might have taken us back then 10 years. Yeah. Because we didn't have no 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 explanations. None of that existed. None of it. For me, I think it's amazing to see the development of the educational side of the dance now. But one thing I say, man, I wish I could strip everybody away from all that knowledge and take you back with me to the jungle. Because there's something about feeling and experiencing something in the music and the dance without having to think academically. Like right now, I had a young guy who I wanted him to join my team when I started it. He's a Cuban dancer, and he says, his name was Roberto. I said, Roberto, I want you to dance with me because he has such flavor with all that Cuban. And he said, Eddie, thank you for the invitation. I'm flattered. He said, but I'm not willing to pay the price that you paid. I said, what do you mean? He says, you know that you have all the counting and all the structure and the whole education. He says, I'm a Cuban, born, raised naturally, without none of that 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. We just feel the music. And you know how the Cubans, when they're teaching, they'll say, agua. Right? They have the whole different. So he says, and I'm not willing to give that up, because you know what? You're like a horse who was running free in the wilderness. And somebody grabbed you, and they brought you into this setting now where now they're going to train you how to run on the track. And the education that you got, it's all beautiful. He says, but you're going to lose that spontaneity that you used to have. Where I would dance, before I met June, I would dance, and all of a sudden, if the spirit moved me, I'd jump on the stage and do 3 spins, and I'd jump back on the floor, and I'd slide on the chair. I would grab my partner and slam her against the wall, but nicely though. And I wasn't thinking, oh, this was on 1, 2, 3, and that was on 5, 6, 7. I just slammed against the wall. It wasn't none of that. So there was a freedom there. There was a freedom and a feeling that you had that just was natural. So it was very free. So now it's funny, because I tell Shani, Shani, I want to go back to the jungle, man. I said, I got all this education, but I want to take off, like when the horses, you know, you let a horse free, you take off the saddle, say, go run your ass in the jungle now. And it's funny, because it's not easy. It's not easy. I feel like I'm so domesticated now. And if it's not 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, it's like, what happened? So I understand what Roberto was saying, is there's a price to pay. Not a bad thing. But every once in a while, you know what I tell you to do? Put on music and don't think time. Let the music take you and let you feel wherever the music wants to take you. And don't worry, oh, if I'm on men's timing or on the 1 or on the 2, or just let music just move you. Okay? That's what makes this a natural thing. Natural. Okay? You see birds fly, they're like 1, 2, 3, you know, they're not it's natural, right? So there's something about the natural side of things like dance, music, that's beautiful. Now, again, and this is not to knock the knowledge. Knowledge is a beautiful thing. And I'm glad I learned all this now because it really has helped me. And as you can see now, it's a worldwide thing where people are dancing all over the world and they understand. These days, they walk up to the lady and say, excuse me, you dance on 1 or 2? And now you know what that means, right? So much so now that I think that now it's a pain in the ass. Excuse me, you dancing on 1. I'm a dancer on 2. And now I got Shani on the dance floor and something went wrong. I stopped, I said, wait a minute, Shani, look, let's talk about the technique and let's talk about... I had a lady one time, a good friend of mine, a ballroom teacher in LA. She said, Eddie, I was dancing with this teacher on the floor and about a half a minute into the song, we're having fun, he stops me. And he starts to correct me about my hand technique and the timing that I should have used. And I looked at him and excused my French. She told him, relax, man, it's just a fucking dance. She said, I didn't come here to take no dance lesson. I came here to release and express and have fun. So let's just dance and forget all the philosophy about whether the hand was right or the hair. Fellas, I say this to my students in New York. Don't ever try to go out there in the middle of the dance floor and stop your partner and turn it into a dance lesson. That's a big no-no. You have no idea how bad they talk about you in the bathroom. Right, Shani? Shani go like this, like that face that you put. Yeah. Did you see that knucklehead? Trying to teach me on the floor. I came here to have fun. There's so many things that I think that need to be really taught as far as etiquette. Yeah. Etiquette. Like, beware of his face. Yeah. Then Shani comes back because she hangs out all night. She's like, oh man, this girl's smacking everybody. You gotta be aware of this space. Okay? And
so does guys.
Shani, speak on it because now you come in from the center. Go ahead, Shani.
I just see this a lot on the dance floor, and sometimes people don't. They're not very aware of how the dance floor looks like. So they can ask a girl to dance, and they just go into the dance floor rather than look around to see where's the space, where people are dancing. They just kind of drag her, bumping into everybody on the way, and just start dancing when people are already dancing in that spot, and they don't care. And all of a sudden, you see the people around are like, there's got to be adjustments, but you have to come in also like with a little respect to the dancers that are already dancing. Like if you haven't started in the beginning of the song and you're coming in a few minutes later, it's fine, just be aware. And then when you lead, you can just lead the girl big if there's so little space. You have to be aware that it's tight to do tighter partner work, tighter, footwork, not go all out, and just be very much aware of that. Spin the girl so she can bump into somebody else. So leaders needs to really pay attention. I like when a guy, when I dance with him, takes care of me, especially when it's really crowded. And you can dance a little more advanced and do a little bit more complicated patterns. It just doesn't have to be crazy and all over the place. And so does ladies. We want to style a lot. And ladies, you can style big, in arms if you have space for it. But also look, for example, if I do an arm that goes around and Eddie's dancing right here, I won't go, and then I'll look, and if I see him, I'll take it in. You always have to kind of follow with your body and pay attention. And if he's not there, then I'll go a little bigger. And also style when needed, not when not needed. Styling comes after the lead, so we have to first follow. So yesterday I saw a girl, and she didn't follow nothing that the guy was leading her, and just was like standing all over the place. And the way of styling, she was hitting like 10 people that passed by. And she was having fun, so okay, but it was like, there was funny, you know, because we were like, and that's how we watched it. Like, and it just needs to be, you know, it is a free dance, and it is you have to let loose, like Eddy say. Like now Eddy always say, this generation is education generation. So we have a lot of information that we can use to make ourselves better dancers in a shorter time, like Eddy mentioned. At the same time, you need to take this information and the technique and all that, but after, when you got it in your body, and your body is muscle memory trained, you have to let go. You know, your body will know the timing, it will know the technique, it will know everything, you just not make it dance. Let go. Hear the music, feel it, feel the flow, feel the rhythm. The counts, it's instead of 1, 2, 3, it's ding, 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 it's the same thing. It's just instead of 1, 2, 3, feel the ding, 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 you know, feel the music. But there are etiquettes with it, you know, and you can disrespect, for example, so much. And sometimes I feel that the dance floor, the dancers been really disrespectful to each other by those things, the dance, the lead, the follow. And it's things that, to me, it pisses me off because I'm having fun on the dance floor. All of a sudden somebody hits me, step on me, I need to be careful, you know. It takes away from the freedom. You start to be like, no. So just be aware of that. Big thing on that. And then if you do hit somebody or step on somebody, it happens, you know. It's very important to apologize and be aware that you've done it, because I have people like, and they just keep dancing, and I'm like, really?
So you must be from New York.
Yeah, you know, like slamming in the head, and like, and this guy is just like into it, and just be like, oops, I'm sorry, you okay? It's very important. Keep dancing, but just be like, I'm sorry. Just be, you know, it just makes you feel a little better. That's my advice.
So would it be a cool idea to ask, let's say we come back here, ask Iman to have a little sit down with you guys so you can have question and answers?
Yeah.
Every time we're walking somewhere, somebody says, I have a question for you. And I say, I know, people want to know things, you know, they want to know